Hi guys, today we are going to look at the game between Carlsen Magnus and Nakamura Hikaru, and the game starts with queen pawn. Opponent goes with the queen pawn too, and now it's becoming a Slav defense, semi-Slav. So here is a little bit trick. If you are new, you might not have seen it. You might think that protecting the c4 pawn is a good idea by going b5, but this is what follows after that. Let me just show you some lines over here. And this wins the exchange and gives a major threat on the king and the queen and blocks the bishop, and not very promising position for black at all. So not this, just to keep in mind if you are a beginner. And this is our book line so far. And now if you just look at the position and evaluate for both sides, we can see that black pieces has a good bishop that can go to so many different squares. Same with this knight can go over here, this knight can go over here, the bishop can go over here, rook can come up here. Well, these are just some of the alternatives that you keep in mind in the future moves. And for the white pieces, white can double put the rook on c1 and castle, and at some point put the rook on e1, and that's just default position improvement moves. Well, this is just opening theory moves, and let's just move on to what happened in the game. So now, as you can see, this knight is a strong hold on d5, and Carlsen castle, and he went here, and this move is very surprising to me. As you can see, if you go over here, the bishop just captures the knight, but this knight is very important as it has many different squares it can go to, and as you know, more the spaces the pieces can go is better. If somehow we can get rid of this white square black bishop, then it's no problem, since this bishop is doing basically nothing. Same with this rook over here. If this rook can be exchanged for this rook, it's a very good idea, but right now it's not possible. So I would go with just simple development with bishop to d6 and follow up with queen to f6, and I think this is perfectly fine. Actually not queen to f6, as there is a threat over on this square. So, but still, bishop to d6 is a good move in this position. But he went over here, and now
check.
Now from here on, it's just basically just crushing. As you can see, his king side is completely open after he goes pawn to g6. I would never do pawn to g6 in this position. Let the white have the pawn, while black has a strong initiative attack on this square, somewhere along the line, or something like this. And I think that would be better in this position. But he went for the bishop and he took it. But now, as you can see, it's just completely, this king is completely just surrounded by the white pieces, and there is no pawns to protect the king. And all the pawns, even on this side, it's just 3 pawns basically doing nothing at all, just blocking the position for bishop. And now he starts giving a threat over here, and he puts the queen over there. Now this is a good move. Now Carlsen just develops the bishop, excellent move, and takes over the c file. Now here is queen to h7, threatening a mate. Well, this move I don't like much. I would personally go with h4. If the queen takes, then just then knight take and checks the king and takes the knight. I mean, takes the rook. So he wins the exchange that way. But I think that's much better in this position, since the black pieces are not very well coordinated. And let's just see what happens. But instead, if you go over here, let's say you say, okay, I don't want to take the exchange, and I want to put my queen over here to safe spot. Then what happens is that you have to deal with moves like over here. Let's say you go, instead of here, let's say in this one is giving a checkmate threat, you just simply go up here. Now if he takes it, if the queen takes, then there is a checkmate threat. But if the queen goes over here, then there is a nice little move over here. And now this bishop looks like it's protected by the queen. It's actually not, because once the rook takes, then queen takes, then there is still a checkmate threat on this square. So that's still not protected at all. So he has to retreat the bishop. So now white can again thrashing in with the second rook and piling up on this nice c8 square bishop. And if the bishop comes over here, then there is a nice threat of putting the rook over here. And now it's just, if you can look at the position, it's just crushing. If he goes over here, it's just crushing. If you just
check,
and there is just nothing you can do to protect it.
Check, check, checkmate.
So it's just crushing position. So that's one of the everything arises from that h4 move, but that was completely avoided by Carlsen Magnus, and he just went back, just retreated the queen, and then he wanted to put the pressure on this square. Now if he takes it over here, and this is very bad for black because he's completely open. If he, some of the moves require, this move is completely it's just completely open. It just looks stupid.
Check.
It's just completely open, and then it's just crushing when the pieces just start coming in. It just becomes very crushing game. So I wouldn't suggest to play in this. I wouldn't like to play in this position at all because it's not very promising at all.
Check.
And it's just completely open for the pieces. It's just coming in the pieces and just no good at all. And when it just starts piling up the pieces, it's just who comes out the victorious more. So I don't like that position at all. So Carlsen just went out with these simple moves. And here is one of the tactics. He went over here. Looks like the bishop is protected and he's attacking over here, but he just took out the bishop and removed the defender. And now if you can see, now it's just basically pinning taking the pawn and forking the rook and checking at the same time. So he figured out. And then other one is, if he tries to move the rook over here, then he will have to deal with move something like this one over here, and that's just not promising at all. Just either way he lose the rook, so it's still either way, like, he doesn't gain any advantage at all. And if for some reason if he were to protect the rook, and if he was thinking that this is a safe move, then still he takes the queen.
Check.
And now he checks it. He cannot go to any of this square because of the pawn, and then if he goes up, he just takes the pawn, and
check.
now he just wins by just the pawns. Pawn is just too much, too many pawns to deal with. It's impossible to win. So Nakamura saw that coming, and he didn't fall for that plan. So he went over here.
Check.
And now
check. Check.
This is just Carl Magnussen did the reason why Carlsen did repeated moves, as he has shown in his video, that he was running out of time, so he was just
check.
Putting some checks to get some time.
Check.
Once he has enough time to think of the moves, then he
check.
Follows his plan for a instant mate.
Check.
Something like a forced mate.
Check.
So now
check.
Carlsen went to check over here. He goes
check.
over here, and this is
check.
This is just mate over here. And few moves in this position is simply a mate. So Carlsen just resigns. If he goes over here,
check.
This one, if he goes over here,
check.
Down, and now he's just mate over there. And if he goes to, let's say,
check.
If he goes down, instead of going there, he
check.
just checks over here. And if he goes, he just takes this one, he takes it,
check.
Rook is gone, and now he's check, and just simply winning for white in either case. So thanks for watching, and